that to the next person, the other two honorees businesses. They said, why? So I knew I had the right ones. Next. You got a preview of it already a little bit. Bob and Terry Worth. The mayor said that the reason that he's getting the award is because of his dad, so I thought that's appropriate, but I disagree wholeheartedly. I think it's because of his dad that he became, and his mother, he became the person that he is. And when you really know Bob, you know a man and you know Terry, they're wonderful individuals who give of their time in so many ways. Their heads are set in the right place. He's an advocate like I am. He'll speak out for what he thinks is right, and I think that's necessary and good. You may not always agree with him, but let me tell you something. That's what we want. We want that opposing voice. We want to have insights and wisdom from there. Let me tell you a little bit about that family that the mayor was referring to. George and Kitty Worth were Bob's mother and father. He was the area, and this area has been around since, the 1946 to 1963. He was a general contractor. The father is above there. That's Bob's brother, and that was his mother. I don't have the complete slip of the Hunter Worth organization, but I'll be talking about that in a second. There's some interesting stories behind that. His dad was instrumental in purchasing so many properties and such a visionary. He also, as a contractor, built almost 5,000 homes in this area that he was involved with in contracting. He started Worth Realty in 1964 on Mill Road, as a matter of fact, and he then merged it with the Huntress organization in 1966, and that was with the owner there, and they were partners. There was the original location for Worth Realty. Bob joined Worth Realty in 1970. In 1973, Huntress left, and Bob's father retained the property, and that's when they put up the Worth sign. It wasn't Huntress anymore. And Bob and his brother took over and managed it. In 1977, Bob and his brother purchased what the present location on Port Washington is, and you'll see that sign. And that's the way it used to look. It was an old Milwaukee auction gallery at the time. They totally remodeled it, and they built it. They came over there with 15 agents and grew the business to quite a size. Up to 60 salespeople they were growing in that particular time. They moved, and at the particular time that they were there, they sold the business in 1989. And the reason that he did it, he was a visionary. He recognized that he had so many members that were working for him, the family of realtors, and he noticed that the economy was getting a little rough. And in the process of getting rough, he decided to sell the business with his brother to Merrill Lynch to grow bigger, just like Robidoux did, if I'm not mistaken, right, Bob? Both of those companies sold out. They did. And what they did is to save all the employees that he had, because he recognized the economy was a little off. He kept the building, they kept the building, and Bob worked for them as vice president and became one of the top 10 producers for that company for several years, and then he went on his own. And he came back in I think it was 1984, and he started Worth Realty again, and they went back to their roots. And they have sold thousands and thousands of homes as a result of that. That was Bob in an earlier picture. That was one of the original pictures I thought you might like to see of the building where, people say, where's that? And I say, Subway. Oh yeah, I know where that is. Oh yes, now I know where it is. Bob, when he came back, joined the IRA. It was all ERA. Similar in the case, but Bob straightened that out. MLS. As you'll see, that's some of the original sales. A lot of people in the community, that was their original signs. Bob was also a community activist, and when there were things that he knew he wanted to accomplish that were better for the community, and that was where his heart was at. He always wanted to do what's right for the community. It wasn't always right for Bob. It wasn't always, he could have made a lot more money, much more money on homes, but what he did is he wanted to sell them at a price that people could afford, and he wanted to give them a good deal so that everything was fair. And that has always been my experience of Bob. It's balanced and fair, and the same thing with Terry Worth. In 2008, they've now moved forward. Terry came on board in 1999, if I'm correct. Is that right? Terry was a consultant for Blue Cross Insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance Company, and Bob convinced her to join, and thank heavens he did, because she took over management, freeing him up to do all the many things that he has done since then. What you have in effect here is the older building that he had. That had the original look of the mission, the Southern mission style. Bob wanted to keep that, and in 2008, after 30 years, they remodeled that building. And in this economy, when everybody should want to pull back, this is what they started doing. They started building hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of refacing and remodeling, because he believed in the community. He, like Carol, had the tenacity and desire to know what it is to go through recessions, to go through the down periods, and he knows that the future is bright because he believes in the community and the people. Now that's what it looked like before. Look at it now. Here's another picture of it. Look how it's developing. You'll see it developing. And he's bringing that quality, yet retaining the legacy of the look, which he wanted to do. It isn't inexpensive. By the time it's finished, there'll be 12,000 square feet of wonderful space. They still occupy that with Worth Realty. That's the side view. Look at that. Look what they're starting to do there. And here's the total vision. Mentioning a couple other things about Bob that I think is important. Civic is important as well, and Terry, they believe in it. Sertoma, the Service Club organization, he's a life member. He's a Mason, a Master Blue Lodge, right here in this area. He sponsored for the last 30 years the Glendale Softball League. Every year he does it. He's an advocate about having the community outspoken and involved. Here's a man who has the integrity and the desire to see things through, to make it happen, and he treats people like a family. And that's why when I wrote the article that you saw, the word that you saw in the book, as a person, a multi-generational, family-owned and operated Glendale-based business, Worth Realty holds the proud reputation of blending trust, seasoned experience in all facets of real estate business with an unmatched desire to genuinely educate and work with each customer as if they're part of their own family. And he has. I've sent people to him. He had gained nothing, and he helped them immensely. At this time, I would like you all to give a great big hand to Bob and Terry Worth Realty.